Good evening and welcome to the 876 Barça podcast. This is the first and pilot. We are joined today by Scott and Rashane, and I'm Javon, Jav for short. All right, so we are a group of Barca enthusiasts, right? We are Jamaicans, Yad Mandem, and we are just here to give our opinions and show our love for what we definitely believe is the greatest club in the world and the greatest club in history. And we are also joined by another one of our supporters, Kyle. Each of us individually have our own, stories or origin of how we became a Barca fan, right? But we've definitely endured a lot together, and definitely a lot individually as Barca fans, and so we definitely want to see a very, very good season every season, but this season in particular, we are having a lot of excitement and expectations and, overall just enthusiasm. So we're definitely here to talk about some of that and, just share the vibes. So the first on the list of things to talk about today is how we all feel about this summer transfer window, right? One of the
Right.
best we've had in a while. Can we all agree?
Yeah, man. Probably
You know,
since 2014, best transfer somehow.
Man, definitely. And
Yeah,
we'll have a banner just running across the screen that shows, some of the transfers that we've had so far. And we can discuss. So far, I think we have the highest, net spend in the summer transfer window in the entire La Liga.
La Liga's new regulations has made it a bit more difficult for the other clubs to, spend during this window.
For every club except Real Madrid. Isn't that interesting?
Very
Almost.
interesting.
you say interesting, right? Yeah,
Jaja.
yeah, but with regards to, I just wanted to say something else as well. With regards to the lack of spending, I think we also need to look at the impact of the pandemic as well,
True.
because yeah, I think a lot of clubs still have not recovered from that. You look at a team even like Valencia, having to do a lot of short loans, and a lot of their key players are on 1 year remaining on their contract, and it's just a big circus show over there.
On the bright side, for Valencia, they're being coached by Gattuso this season, and I feel like he's the right kind of personality that will kind of stabilize a club that has been a sinking ship for about 10 years now.
Well, I think that the coaches, they can only do so much. What goes on behind the scenes, with the administrative staff, um, the managing staff, but the activities of the club, they are probably the most important part right there. I mean, thankfully, Laporta has a whole lot of experience. It's not the first time I do this; he did it before. So,
True.
say I'm not new to this. And as far as I'm watching things unfold right now, it doesn't seem as if he's caught up with tradition. I think he has evolved with the times.
But in terms of the sum that we've spent, right, and the previous windows that we've had, I think it was Kyle or Scott that said it's probably the best transfer window that we've had since 2014. In terms of the sum that we've spent and the hardships that we faced, what do you guys think is the most marquee transfer or signing? The one that is like, yes, this is definitely the one for us.
Well, Lewandowski would be the obvious answer, but in my personal opinion, I think Kunde is going to be more important going forward
I
because
agree.
ever since the last time we won the Champions League, the problem in Europe hasn't really been attack. It's always a defense, right? That's lapsing. And so in Kunde, we have a young elite centre back in the back line partnering Araujo, who is another young elite centre back. And I feel like with those two now, we're going to see a different Barcelona defense going forward, which historically has been an issue in Europe in particular.
Yeah,
I mean,
True, true.
I yeah, I couldn't agree more, to be honest with you. I mean, when you look at the profile of centre back that he is, it's the correct age, it's the correct technical qualities. When you look at the fact that him and Aurora are practically the same age, and this is a centre back pairing that can be there for years to come, a decade probably, holding strong. We still have Christensen, who's also really decent backup. The fact that PK is now more or less fifth choice or fourth choice is
Dude.
actually is actually a great feeling, yeah. So I mean, I think we can all say
Jaja.
that we've been crying out for someone to come in and not necessarily kick PK out of the team, because I still think that the leadership that he brings is important to the club.
Yeah.
He is practically Mr. Barcelona, to be very honest with you. So I
True.
think an influence like him is needed around the club. But if we want to take that further step and really challenge for the top honors, be a consistent team that's always looking to get La Liga, that's first. We should always get La Liga, regardless,
True.
and
True.
then make sure that we can take the steps in Europe to at least make sure that it's semifinals or above, nothing less than that. That is what this club deserves, and I think that signing, particularly, especially as Kyle mentioned, in terms of fixing the defense, which has been our Achilles heel in Europe,
True.
will take us a step further for sure. You look at games like Liverpool, Roma in the past. That's yeah, those hurt.
Exactly.
Those
Exactly.
hurt, and we can pinpoint the defense as the real problem for that.
Bro,
You
we
get
didn't
me?
even go
So
so far, because I really want to hear about all them games. But the one that
yeah,
me can
but
definitely pinpoint and say, just alluding to the same point or underscoring the same point about, the defense. PK, PSG, what was that? Quarterfinals?
No man, round of 16.
Rona 16.
Yeah.
When Mbappe destroyed him, when Mbappe ended his career
Bro, strainer. Right there, so you see me? No, bro.
ended his
Like
career,
if we didn't even have if we didn't even, because I believe Arua was injured as well for that game. And so something
Yeah
along those.
man, it was PK and
Yeah,
Lenglet.
yeah.
PK and
Right.
Lenglet were the
So,
centre back
so
partnership.
if we never even have Araujo, bro, and we did have Christensen them time, they are Kunde and Christensen, bro. But no, so we are going at least semis, just like what Scott said, and get at least a semi-final berth if I feel like sorry, we justify as arguably the biggest club in football history. But Jaja, like them thing embarrassing, like the man just dash your PK like nothing, bro. And like for see, I know what's also for me something that's it's not pleasing to see when you have players who are so prestigious and reputable in their positions for at least a 10 to 15 years, and then they might get destroyed and mash up. So, mind you, the game evolves and changes, and you will always have the next generation that is, um, developing in the sport to the level they can put on those performances. But I feel like PK, bro, as a man where, have certain status in a game. The man no fear get destroyed, so bro. You know what I mean? Them thing they embarrassing.
Well,
You see me?
the difference between him and like Puyo, for example, because I'm sure, I mean, maybe the younger listeners wouldn't really know, but back in 2013, we were playing Real Madrid in the quarterfinals, I
Yeah.
believe, for the Copa del Rey, and Di Maria absolutely just destroyed Puyol. Puyol
Yeah,
never
bro.
remember. I say from that day, Puyol catch a little injury and him just retired the season after.
Yeah, him over,
and
so
that
I'm
was
gonna
it.
say, oh, Ewa.
Yep.
This can't go on. So we
Yeah.
need a steady influx there. You know what I mean? Of as you said,
All right.
defenders, but the
I
center back.
mean,
Got you, Russian.
granted, Puyol had knee problems. And that was
Definitely.
probably
Oh,
a
we know it, but like that game was
yeah.
a turning point.
Yeah,
When
man.
he
Yeah.
turned him
Yes, it was.
inside out and he just fell,
Yeah,
Pause.
and right then you just knew that
Yeah, man.
this
I
was
hate this,
kind of
man.
it.
As you guys rightfully pointed out, it's important to strengthen those areas that were proven to be weak points for us, but also, you know, kind of, we could easily identify critical or crucial moments when we lost a trophy because of vulnerabilities at those specific areas. So, seeing that we're able to strengthen some of those areas now, we are definitely in a better position. We definitely have more tools in our arsenal. I think before the winter start, all of our reports say Javier did a pre-say yo Ewa. We need at least two starters in every role, in every position
Yeah.
on the field. and for you actually manifest and have that, you know what I mean? Because most
Yeah.
teams probably just have a start and a bench player, but you have two starters in every role or almost every role. You know what I mean?
The
Aside from the
thing,
competition, the team is definitely going to be better off for that. What you say?
I think the reason why Xavi is praying that, is because if you look at like what we consider to be a modern day super club, right? So let's take Manchester City, Bayern Munich, and PSG for argument's sake, right?
The midfield kind of
Who's midfield? PSG.
PSG. Yeah.
All right,
That
fair
that
enough.
that
Fair enough.
that,
Me
that could
not
be
say.
start. I think.
Me not, all right.
Nah, fam, man,
Maybe
I
not that.
agree.
Maybe
I
not.
agree,
Maybe
fam.
not PSG. Maybe not PSG. But Bayern and Man City, them have that two starter in every position team. And what it
Facts,
does, it ensures domestic dominance. It don't guarantee Europe, as
facts.
we say, but it ensure domestic dominance. And I feel like that's the reason why Xavi is bringing it. Because back in like Pep's days, 2010, 2011, for example, I think the first team squad was like 23 players, and he basically played the same. In La Liga, Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets started every match, right? 38 out of
for the
38
most
games.
part. Yeah.
But
I can't confirm, but if you say us,
No, man, that's true, man. Yeah, man,
but
definitely.
yeah, the thing is, we had really good doctors then.
Yes,
The team
and,
was fit.
and then we had the benefit of the youth system that they could lean on, because again, I believe Rafinha was just coming to the fore at that time. Thiago himself probably
Thiago,
had just
yeah.
left or was still you know hanging around. We had Sergio
Even
Roberto.
Sergio Roberto.
Sergi
So
Samper.
Yeah,
again, maybe we weren't at the super club status in terms of depth, but we definitely had options.
yeah,
So it's
Yeah.
kind of similar or even better now, because again, we still have, as what Kyle said, at least sights on domestic dominance. You know what I mean? Then it's a good look all around. And to just to top off this final topic, or sorry, the final point on this topic, um, what about the forward line? We said that Scott Lewandowski would have been, the $45 million marquee signing, but not the most expensive transfer so far. What about Rafinha? What about um the others? What do you think?
Again, I think, and this is probably just not the forward line as well, it's probably just throughout the team. I like the different profiles of players that are there. The fact this gives Xavi practically unrivaled tactical versatility. If Lewandowski isn't working out, fling
Facts,
on Aubameyang, pace
facts.
in behind. You understand? If Dembele is having one of those days, you know, where
Gotcha.
it's just not going for him. He's not
Poor
he's not able to
decision
beat his
making.
man. Poor
Yeah,
decision making. He's losing the ball. Rafinha is there on the other
true.
flank. Um, let's hope Ansu stays fit. If he's not giving us what we need, Ferran Torres is there. That kind of
True.
stuff. So that kind of depth.
seemed as if like we were putting some expensive accessories on a budget car at that time when we were linked with it. But
True. True.
we have made all these other signings. And like I'm saying, yeah, this
All the
this
pieces
footwork,
fit.
this is the piece. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for real. For me, we definitely need to strengthen the left back area. We definitely have, as we all can agree, solidified the defense, to a point where we definitely are beyond competitive, and now we're challenging not only for domestic titles but definitely for European titles. And the forward line again, which has been primarily the focus of most of our transfer windows for the past how many years, decades, is again something that is, again, as Scott said, tactically versatile and can adapt to any condition, any opponent. So yeah, man, we definitely are looking ahead positively, and we can definitely feel confident in the fact that we have a very good rounded super squad. All right, so moving right along. So we had about what, 6 preseason games. Not all of our summer signings were able to play some of those earlier games, and yet we still feel as if a lot of them were able to come in and just fit, as if they've been playing for Barca for years. Any thoughts on that?
the Juan Gamper game which was the last one, I guess.
Yeah, Las Pumas.
Yeah, so that was a 6-0 win. What impressed me about that game is how well the team gelled in terms of what I see as Xavi's tactical vision. So, for those who are unaware, there's a series of videos on YouTube by the coach's voice, I believe it is, where Xavi teaches a masterclass in
Masterclass.
many
Yeah, man.
different parts. So I've watched it, right? And the thing is, his idea of total football is different from what Pep did while he was at Barca, but is very similar to what he's now doing at Manchester City. And the key thing for me that I saw in the game against Las Pumas is how Lewandowski kind of stayed in that space right at the edge of the 18-yard
Yeah,
box.
yeah,
And he did a lot of hold up play, which allowed whoever was the interior. I mean, I saw Pedri doing it a lot. He actually scored two was in that fashion. He was the one who was making that penetrating run into the box,
yeah. Or the
right?
decoy runs. Yep.
Right. While Lewandowski would either be marking a centre back or one of the midfielders drop deep to try and press him, which open up space for the interiors to then run in. And then you have the wingers staying wide. And so the team is very dangerous because we're not just attacking the ball through the middle solely.
We're attacking the spaces, right?
Yeah.
And we're also kind of creating additional passing lanes that weren't there. Aside from that game, what do we think about the results? What do we think about what it says about the team's ability to play against different defenses and still find and create chances that lead to goals? Because
Right.
goals has been a big issue for Barca in the last 2 or 3 seasons.
I think that uh, Xavi had pretty much worked on, even in the little time he was here, has worked on our ability to create chances. I don't think it was necessarily an issue anymore. Um, I expect that to improve drastically this season. Um, Especially if we get Bernardo Silva in the fold, but Dembele, Rafinha, creative choices as well.
How I look at things is it's not that long ago that something happened or something was an issue. So me Prism. So even though we're probably showing a little bit of improvement from that period or slightly different, to me, I always look at how far we were from that and the fact that we really should be doing more to ensure that we're not back there. So in that case, I think that chance creation and goal scoring, like clinicality, you see me, was definitely an issue. Now, of course, as you said, we can definitely agree to that improve. And you say you
Yeah.
highlighted that Pedri has areas to improve on in terms of ensuring that we
Uh,
don't go back to that place. So
and
what do
just
you
to
think?
point out as well, I think he improved last season from the season before.
True?
So I think that it could be a linear progression for him as the seasons go on. It just gets better and better as you learn the craft. And
He,
the thing is that I'm not a huge fan of preseason results. I think that um, they can be
They can
misleading.
be misleading. Yeah,
Yeah.
True. Very
definitely.
true.
Well, I think that what I take from
I'm so
them
happy
is
that you
that
said that.
the team seems fit. It seems that we're ready for the season. Um,
Yeah,
the chemistry is there. It doesn't seem as if there's any jarring situations where like a player doesn't know where they need to be. Yeah, at a
Yeah.
particular move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
hmm
but
yeah,
I think like from a preseason we are where we need to be. Um, and we just have to build upon that and make sure so that the results they convert when the real stuff starts this Saturday or Sunday. A Sunday match?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Saturday. Hmm
Yeah.
Kyle, any
Yeah,
thought?
I mean,
Or
yeah.
Scott? Go,
Oh,
go to
um,
Scott.
I
Go
was
to
gonna,
Scott. Sorry.
I wanted to mention something about Pedri. So I think that his development has been really interesting because I remember I think it was I played FIFA 20. That was the first time I'd ever heard of him because he was in the squad. Now, this was back when we had signed him, but he was loaned back to Las Palmas immediately. So he hadn't actually been in the first team, but in the game because in the Barca squad. I was like, all right, who's this Pedri youth? And one thing I noticed about him in the game is that he was really good at dribbling. Like
Yeah.
every player has different dribbling animations, but there's something about Pedri's that just seemed messy-ish. It was very teeth, like the ball
Yeah.
was glued to his feet.
Yep.
And then now in 2022, in 2020, 2021 now, when he made that jump into the first team under Coleman, we saw how the thing why I think he played him every match is because Pedri could do something which is like something that all elite Spanish midfielders know how to do, and that's keep possession. Like he's extremely good at dribbling and like maintaining the ball against the press. He was extremely press resistant. And this season that just done now, I noticed where he improved in terms of his shooting, in terms of physicality, right? And I think, especially in terms of his shooting, because he was actually appointed to be an ambassador for FIFA 23, and he made a comment to them on social media about getting his shooting stats right, which I would then read into to think that he has been actively working on his shooting, like outside of general training. He's making an effort to become a better finisher. And I agree with Rasheen that the final ball is probably the one
What he
flaw
needs
in
to
his
work
game.
on. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I
I
think
agree
with
there.
time he will become a player who. But the thing with the Spaniards, they are more likely to try and keep possession than to try and penetrate it, because a penetrating pass is risky. You might lose possession.
So when you talk about a final pass, Javi used to talk about something very important, and I think it alludes to why Spanish players are like that, which is what you're doing is you're giving the, whether it's the forward, the striker, the interior, whoever it is, a fail safe ball, right? So you're never going to make that pass unless you know it's a sure goal, where you set up a one-on-one with the keeper, or the person is able to beat the last defender and then get a clear shot on goal, right? There's no way the person, unless I just want bug when I know what I'm going to do. You understand? But that's the mentality. So that's probably the reason why Pedri sees and interprets the game the way he does. But I agree with you, and I think it's just the end product for me. And you know what, the learning curve is not that steep for Pedri, where that is concerned either. Scott, you had something that you wanted to say for how long? Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And for the non-Jamaican listeners, a bug is a player that is not all that good. Just wanted to put that out there. So for me, where Pedri is concerned, I am not that concerned with his development. I think in terms of the final ball, the chance creation, I think we have to look at it from another perspective of, has he had a steady front line in front of him? Dembele
That's
has
true.
always been injured. Ansu has been injured. The centre forwards that he's played with, there's Luke De Jong, there's no Lewandowski, there's no Aubameyang, Ferran Torres, that kind of stuff. So I think that there's still probably some time that is needed. I mean, we have all seen that the chemistry in the team is actually really coming together right now, but I don't think you can look at a team that has added five or so players and expect them to be gelling 100% after a couple weeks of preseason. And we all
True.
know that preseason results don't necessarily amount. I mean, look at such club with a devil on them crests, a goodish
True.
preseason, and not the greatest start, you
Rough
know.
Europa League stuff right there. All right.
with
Brighton,
with with
Brighton,
with their so-called goat in their team. But
Jaja.
that's a discussion for
Different
another time.
conversation that, my G. But again, as it relates to preseason, don't want to read too much into it, because for one, there's still a lot of integration that has to go on with the new players and last season, for example, and the youth team who have been promoted. And then, Pedri and Lewandowski seem to have a very good chemistry going on. Aubameyang and Kessie, you know what I mean? Aubameyang and Dembele, we know from ever since Dembele and Lewandowski a little bit, but definitely Aubameyang and Lewandowski. So there's a lot going on there, and we have a lot to look forward to. All right, so we're gonna move forward now into the very last major topic. I mean, there are a few others that we wanted to touch, but the very last major topic being the economic levers, right, that the board have embarked upon, or has embarked upon, to ensure that we can have some financial stability and take on, the fiscal demands of the season past and the season ahead. So, we can start to talk about, what our opinions are A lot of people are comparing the decisions and the sales made to some 360 deals that artists used to sign back in the day. Sign them live. People get $1 billion and we are get hundreds of million. And we are selling out only per percentage. So it a maths out to them. But our situation is very different from others. So what opinions do you guys have about whether the first 1, 2, 3 or the pending fourth level to be activated?
For me, the levers, or however you want to pronounce it,
Yeah.
it's actually a mixed feeling for me on that particular thing. I am probably one of the most sensible slash pessimistic Barca fans that you will ever come
Facts.
across in life. Because I was the one saying, how we get Lewandowski, how we buy anybody this summer,
True.
constantly making that, and here we are, well over 100 million euros spent, and that kind of stuff. But my takeaway
You
from
and
this
Bleacher
is
Report, fam. You and Bleacher Report.
no, because I think for me, my love for the club is a little bit different from others,
True.
where I am probably more willing to take maybe a year or two, not winning La Liga, getting ourselves in a better financial position than probably saying giving away 25% of our TV rights for the next 25 years. And then it's almost like we're saying we need to live in the know. We are Barca. And I mean, yeah, we are
But
Barca. We deserve the best. We need to have the best players. But are we doing this at the detriment of, the future, so to speak? You know what I mean? So
Kyle.
that's kind
I
of
was
how
going to
I
say,
look at it.
Scott, I was going to say that I think that I would agree with you up until the Champions League final. I think every cooler watching the Champions League final, I feel like that's what triggered the spending, because if you think about it, if Liverpool were doing that much, then, do you really think we would have been as aggressive as we were? To be honest, because when I made it, it's like, just imagine winning another European Cup now. That's the most triggering thing for a Barca fan.
Okay, no, so
Um,
no, that's fair, But here's the thing for me, right? Why? And again, maybe this is a wrong way to look at it. But why are we concerning ourselves
with
with
them.
what? Yeah, with what
Yeah,
they are
Yeah,
doing?
because
We're
because
bigger than them,
because
kind of
naturally,
situation.
naturally, we always feel like we should be there every year. So if
Yeah.
you're looking at it from the Madrid standpoint, then I can't agree. We beat Madrid those seasons. Every season that Madrid has won the Champions League, we beat them twice.
So,
If we
yeah.
don't beat them twice, we beat them once and draw with them. If it weren't for just a few mistakes or just a few um tactical errors, whatever you want to blame it on,
We should have 7 by now, honestly.
we should have had many Champions League trophies, right? And I think we kind of need to not necessarily look at why we're not as competitive as them, but more so why we're not advancing throughout the rounds smoothly, consistently,
Yeah.
without error. And once we kind of, take that to the focus of why we're not there, we'll be fine. In just summarizing that whole sale of the assets, they did the same thing, right? And for their future, I mean, them just lucky, really and truly, them just lucky because when them a win a Champions League, I probably have like a one trophy for the season and a Champions League them get. But they don't win anything else, and for me, that's not dominance. Like you're winning a Champions League, you should be winning your league. You should be winning your domestic cup, right?
It's a
Their
strange thing, but Madrid is like the only
uh,
club. Them and Milan.
without without that treble and them win so much.
their future is more in ear to me, up in smoke to me than ours is.
In the
Our TV
future,
right?
where the TV rights don't matter as much because streaming is technically not TV. The lie them can work them magic
Well, then
regardless.
again, that wouldn't be good for us, and that would be bad for us because if the TV now make the money, what I mean, then we'll basically sell them something where worthless, and then not getting a profit on it. So then we're in the red.
But watching, there's a flip side to that, because then they would just take Barca TV Plus and just have that as like a streaming thing.
Collateral, for example,
Yeah.
right? But what I think I get what you're alluding to, Russian, which is what I was going to say as well. I think 25 years is not going to be such a long time because of the value of it, right? The value is going to skyrocket. And which is why I was saying, definitely believe that our future is much more secure, in a better standing than, them boy there, where we're white. And I'll tell you why. Aside from the structure that they have around whether you want to say recycling or integrating new talent, they've struggled over the last 4 years to get their talent to the height of top tier or top flight football. Vasquez has struggled, right? Relatively. But if we're measuring their young players against ours, Vasquez has struggled. Asensio, on and
Yeah.
off,
No,
right?
actually, even Madrid fans don't really rate him all that much.
Right? Look at Isco, Alcaraz, bro. Look at Isco was supposed to be the next Zidane or the
Supposedly.
next Iniesta for
Magic.
some. Like Isco was supposed to be the next big thing.
Blasphemy.
You know what I mean? Lost in our system. And if you look at Mariano, all them little people that them bring in, nothing has materialized of it. Now they have had the benefit of, again, the influx of cash from winning trophies, so them can definitely, because they felt the effects of the pandemic as well, but them can definitely end a season in the green, and they have something that can attract players. So you can attract a player like a Many, or you can attract, a Kamavinga. But when you get those 1 and 2 names in a specific area of the pitch, what about everywhere else, right?
Looking at
Vinny's
it,
a good
them thinking that Mbappe was definite, probably
prime
may-
example. Prime
probably
example.
Sweden.
probably made them focus on him and ignore Haaland, and they
Yeah.
basically end up with neither. So they were betting it on him. That was what they were doing. They thought it was in
All
the
on
bag. They thought,
Mbappe, right?
yeah,
So when you think about things like that, and then you look at the fact that Barca doesn't even have to go all out like that, you know what I mean? As Scott said rightfully, sometimes it can feel like it's a short-term fix. But when you look at the grand scheme, basically, you have Collado, for example, right? You have Easy Abde. You have even the fact that we send Ferran Jutla away, right? Sell him. You have players like Minguez, you have players like Puj, who aren't even able to make it in this squad. And when you look across the road and you look at the peers or the counterparts that they have at the same level or the same roles, it's not equal. We are far ahead of them. So I believe definitely that the value of our broadcasting, for example, or jersey sales, or just the fan attraction that our players will bring to the Camp Nou Spotify or any other new venue, Barca Museum, Barca Studios, the fact that Pedri get a golden boy and probably can be nominated for a Ballon d'Or, if not this year, next year. You know what I mean? If you look at how well Gavi, like Nico Gonzalez, if you look at how well stacked we are in terms of youth talent, for the next 5 to 10 years, we definitely will still be able to hold on to that dominance. So when you
Well,
think about the sale of some of these assets, I definitely believe that even though it's a small cash injection right now, we still I chat them and them chat them. Big man thing. Because the value of these are gonna be worth so much more that we can, one, renegotiate and get more money, or two, we can buy back our assets.
it's a simple fact. We have to spend money to make money.
Ah,
I just, that's how it goes. Well, first we sold the assets, then we
yeah,
got money, and then we spent that money to invest back into the club. Success, if we are successful next season, um, we're going to have a huge influx of revenue. We have actually
right.
started restructuring our wage bill, which has been, I think, the biggest issue in regards to us.
Being able to find that profit margin. Yes.
Yeah,
True.
basically benefiting from these high revenue numbers that we've been having, and doing that because I believe that they said that the sales that we did made us in the last financial year in the green. I think that's what
Yeah, a
they
hundred
yeah.
million. 100 million. For the quality and the marketability and the lucrative aspects of what we have in La Liga, I think it's just untapped. And once we Barca are able to again, just return to those greatness levels that we did, and make ourselves profitable, marketable, we will be the ones directly responsible for bringing that revenue to La Liga, bringing that talent to La Liga. You know what I mean? And with the talent that we have, we just continue to groom them. You know what I mean? And we do it with Lewandowski, you know, and we can definitely do it again.
I think
You
we,
know, I
yeah.
think.
So, oh, go
What
on,
you,
man, go on.
Scott? No, man,
Oh,
what you what you say?
oh.
Scott,
All
Scott,
right.
what you, Scott?
Yeah.
Scott.
So it's actually a few points I wanted to make. So one, we also can't underestimate the pull of Pep either.
True,
Working with a manager of that quality is
true.
it's like if me could have played football, I mean, yeah, man,
You don't
run
want him to
run the
be a
play
coach,
football.
right?
It is easily the best marketed league in the world. It definitely has more money than us, which means that they will for the foreseeable future they will perpetually be in a better position to attract better players than us, which then speaks to the marketability of of La Liga as well.
Yeah.
So I think that we, not just from a Barcelona standpoint, but La Liga itself also needs to, market itself better to the relevant markets that would be consuming football content, because like you said, the league, the standard of the league is actually really, really good. You
Very
understand?
high.
I think Spanish football has this really bad reputation of being boring. It's just tiki taka. They're just
A two
technical
horse
players.
race.
They're not the blood and thunder of the EPL and all that kind of stuff, but technically
Rubbish.
and yeah,
I
quality
mean,
wise, the passes that happen in there, the movement,
yeah.
It's not even about the
it's
passes.
there.
I'm not even
No,
going to try
I'm
to.
just saying it's just the first thing that was
I
come to
agree
my
with you,
mind, but
know,
there's so much more to it.
but I'm not even going to try to speak through football IQ terms or technical terms when I'm trying to explain that to someone, because I've had to defend La Liga because I'm used to being the only person that's a hardcore, real and true Barcelona fan. Everybody else is either Real Madrid and an EPL team or Barca and an EPL team. But I've been the only person supporting Barca only, and I always go through it because people's like, "Yo, your league boring" or whatever, and I always said to them till I was able to actually phrase it properly and communicate it so that people could understand. It's not that EPL is better, not even the marketing or profit aspects of it. It's as simple as this. The reason why you think it's a boring league or it's a two-horse race is because the polarity in La Liga is so vast that it looks as if it's just for two teams only. But when you check the level
Yeah.
of a north to a south pole, right, in La Liga, extremes, right? But when you check a south pole to a north pole, a south pole in La Liga to a north pole, for example, in EPL or Germany, it would be a North Pole for them. You know what I mean? A bigger level for them. And that's just what it is. It's just two polar opposites in terms of the best teams in the Liga and the worst teams. But those worst teams in the league are still far better than everywhere else in Europe. I'm still basically pivot off the fact say we had the Messi versus Ronaldo you know what I mean battle like every weekend, you know, say yo, yeah, check the goal scorer chart to see
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
serious. You see me? Just a lot to unpack with this season, including off pitch, because again, stemming from this main topic here about the assets and how well we'll be able to reclaim or make these things profitable, not just for our investors but for us. We don't even have a sleeve sponsor yet, right? We're still liberating that, and usually when a season starts, you really want to ensure that you have all the funding that you need. You know what I mean? Because I remember even last season, the man them did have some last minute issues with flights, and you've never heard of that happening with Barcelona, right?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot that we have to kind of still just organize and kind of take care of. But overall, not reading too much into the business that we've done, one of the best transfer windows that we've had, still needing to close some of these exits, because again, we always wait till last minute to close exits. But it's overall looking much more positive, but we still have to kind of just be cautiously optimistic, right? And borderline pessimistic, because again, these results from the preseason don't necessarily translate to the real season. Last year, we started by winning 4-2, and then we went 1-0 with Bilbao, and then I think it kind of went just downhill from there. We kind of have to definitely just chart a consistent path. And with that said, what are your expectations, guys, for this new season? And especially the game on Saturday. What are your expectations?
All right, well, in terms of the season as a whole, I expect the team to at least win La Liga and the Copa del Rey.
I don't even want to say, because sometimes some people feel like if we beat Madrid, we guarantee the league, but then we're losing to the name
Actually,
is
lost to Riot twice.
Oh, last
to
year,
them
yes,
twice.
yes, actually,
Yeah.
yes. Speaking of Rayo, who we're playing on
not
Saturday,
even
is it?
not even Rayo. May I try? They wear yellow.
Betis,
Forgive me.
Cadiz.
Cadiz, yes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Losing to Cadiz, right?
Bogey team. Oh my god.
Cadiz. You know what I mean? So I mean, but yeah, sorry. Let's talk about
I mean, they're a team that I've always had like a soft spot for in terms of like out of all the clubs in Madrid, they
Yeah.
seem to be the smallest. You know, when I look at their stadium, people who live in the city can just like look. They can be in their apartments and see the entire match. So it's like a very close knit community. And they recently signed Falco. I think it was last year.
Yep.
And Falco actually, I think he may have gotten at least 2 goals against us, if my memory serves me correctly.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Actually, I think it was Falco who got Coman sacked in November.
It was actually.
Yeah, man.
Falcao.
It's Coman here.
It's good that you remember that, because everybody was like, "Yo, we have a lot to thank Falcao for." Definitely,
Yeah,
and that's one of them. Expected lineups? Anyone? A scoreline prediction? Even?
Well, I don't know.
Definitely be
The registration
lineup is gonna be tricky.
Right, a registration
Well,
team.
even aside from the lineup, an expected a scoreline prediction, because we're gonna be here again and we're gonna be talking about the expectation versus the reality, and then of course the game. Give us a scoreline prediction.
2-0.
All right.
2-0. The nil is the part I really want to say more than the 2 still.
Of course.
Because clean sheets is what the team has really been lacking in the league.
All right. I think, well, for the lineup, our mega assumes everybody ready.
Balde, Christensen, Frankie, back three.
No, man. Araujo would be the right back.
Araujo, so back four.
Yeah.
All right, and then Busquets.
Busquets, Pedri, Gavi.
All right.
Yeah, I want to say answer, but I feel like Xavi gonna go with Rafinha.
All right.
Lewandowski, Dembele.
All right. So Rafinha and Dembele starting together. Interesting. All right. I would love to see that, but I think probably for Rayo that's overkill. Honestly.
I mean, as I said, we want to get it right.
Yeah, we want to get it right.
All right. Unless there's injuries in other places that we don't know about, I don't see any reason why Xavi would want to be conservative for the first game of the season. I mean, you want to understand the team that you plan to play for the season. You want to see them in action. What I'm saying, all right, John, so what I'm saying is that it's not that I necessarily think that Rafinha and Dembele will be the ones
to start every game, but for this game,
I feel like he would default to them. I think Ansu has his shooting boots. I don't know. There's just something off about his movement.
Not the consistent starting 11, but definitely what's needed to secure the 3 points. All right, fair enough. Scott.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Oh wait, hold on. Rushin, your scoreline prediction. So sorry. If you don't want to, then that's fine.
No man. 3-1. Not. I think that with the question marks regarding how the defense is going to set up right now, I think we may let team one, but I think we'd win a bit comfortably. Otherwise,
fair. All right. Yeah, Scott. Sorry.
Yeah, if everyone is fit and healthy, I think the back line is kind of similar to Rashane's. The midfield is more or less the same, and also the attack as well. I think in terms of looking at what we have done through preseason as well in terms of who has the most minutes in their legs. That's the options that Xavi is going to go for, because you assume that those persons are closer to peak physical fitness and sharpness
Yes.
to undertake the season. And I think it is also important that, in light of the negativity surrounding our club with regards to rival fans questioning how we're doing this and wanting to see our downfall, I want to see the strongest team out there to kind of send a message to everybody, say, we're not gone, we're still there, still Barca this.
I feel like we could win 5-love, but I feel like it's gonna be a game where Lewandowski is gonna still try to find his boots, and they're gonna try to find him because they want Lewandowski to score. And because of that, we're gonna probably have to wait like a good 20 or 35 minutes for the first goal, and then after that, it's gonna be like a flurry of goals. If we get an early goal, you know what I mean, from Ansu or from Lewandowski, then yeah, 5-love for sure. But my mind is telling me somewhere about 3, and I want to say the clean sheets. I want to say 3-love too. You know what I mean? I want to say 3-love.
So since we've started this prediction thing, idea kind of popping on my mind that we could probably have a predictions league table, so to speak. So 3 points for the exact prediction, spot on. 1 point for getting the result right, and 0 points if, here's me, we say win and them draw or whatever the case.
Wait.
So we agree upon that then? Goal difference being the buffer?
Yeah, man.
All right, no problem. All right, that sounds reasonable then. Yeah, man. So we can formalize it and move forward. But yes, a very good discussion. You know what I mean? And thank you to everyone who made this possible. Everyone who's not here with us tonight, but still behind the scenes, and definitely everyone who's here and everyone who tends to be a part of the series. And Visca Barça.
Visca Catalunya.